Athletic Greens is arguably the most popular greens powder on the market right now. However, for one 30-day canister, you have to pay about $100 US. Wait. Or if you want to do a monthly subscription, it's about $80 US, which goes up to $88 with the cost of shipping.
For those reasons, I'm out.
If you're like me, you probably don't want to pay that much for a product per month. Now, what if you could make your own version of Athletic Greens at home using just a few simple ingredients, one that's actually better than Athletic Greens in certain areas?
Wow! What?
And better yet, it would only cost you a fifth of the amount of what you would pay for a monthly subscription for Athletic Greens.
Whoa!
Whoa! All right!
Hopefully I got your attention. Here's a quick rundown of all of the ingredients that you'll need to make this. So there are really only about 5 or 6 ingredients that you'll need to make this greens powder, which is amazing. And each one of them is packed with so many excellent nutrients. The first is spirulina. This is actually the main ingredient in AG1. It's an excellent source of iron and it contains a powerful antioxidant, superoxide dismutase. We'll talk about that in a later video. And then next is the popular Moringa leaf powder, which is super nutrient dense. It's a complete protein source and can also help regulate blood sugar. Next is Baobab powder, which is an excellent source of vitamin C and fiber, so it's a great support for the immune system as well as digestive health and gut support. And then next we're going to be adding some ginger powder, which of course is good for gut and digestion as well as immune support. Also has some excellent anti-inflammatory properties as well. And then we're going to add a little bit of lemon juice and then whatever sweetener you'd like for taste, whether it's agave or honey or a non-calorie one like monk fruit or stevia. And then one optional ingredient that we're going to be using is this magnesium powder by Thorne Research. Magnesium is a key nutrient for so many different bodily processes, and what's great about this magnesium is that it actually includes monk fruit within it. So not only are we using this for the magnesium benefit, but also as a sweetener. You can find a link to all of these ingredients in the description below. Now for making your greens drink, you can stir it in the glass or you can use one of those protein shaker bottles like I'm going to be using here, or if you have an electric mixer, you can use that as well. From here you're going to add 1 teaspoon each of spirulina, moringa, and the baobab, and then 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of the ginger powder, 1 scoop of the magnesium powder, which is about 1 teaspoon, 8 to 10 ounces of water, and then a couple squeezes of lemon juice. And then you're going to place the top on and give it a shake until it's nice and combined. Now, a few tips to keep in mind if this is your first time using any of these products. I recommend you start off with some smaller doses of everything and then increase gradually over time just to make sure that your body responds to it okay. And then also, this is not to be used as a meal replacement, folks. This also shouldn't be a substitute for consuming actual whole fruits and veggies. And voila, you have your own greens powder drink. This is definitely a great way to kickstart your day, or you could even take it in the afternoon.
You've got magic going on, baby.
I'm gonna make you an offer.
Sorry, sharks, this one is not for sale. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how our recipe stacks up against AG1 in different categories, starting with nutrient profile. Now, AG1 boasts that it has as many as 75 different vitamins and minerals and probiotics and adaptogens and just about anything you can think of. Is pretty much like a super multivitamin. And while this recipe obviously doesn't compete with that, there are a couple things worth noting. The first is that the amount of fiber and protein in this recipe is very similar to what you get in Athletic Greens. In this recipe, you get 2 grams of fiber and 3 grams of protein, whereas in AG1, you get 2 grams of fiber and 2 grams of protein. Now, our recipe stands apart from AG1 in the department of iron. So in this recipe, you get 4 milligrams of plant-based iron. And so for those of you all out there who are deficient in iron like myself, this is gonna be a very key nutrient for you. And secondly, in our recipe, we have an adaptogen called Moringa, which is also not in AG1. And Moringa is known for a slew of different benefits, and also it's green, just saying. And if you decide to add the magnesium supplement to your greens powder like we did, y'all, that's gonna give you 200 milligrams of magnesium, which in AG1 you only get, I believe, 26 milligrams. And then the second category is the ingredient composition. Now, what I mean by that is with this recipe, you know exactly how much of each ingredient you're putting into your powder. We've given you the exact amounts of the spirulina, the moringa, the ginger, everything. Whereas with Athletic Greens, they use what's called called a proprietary blend, which basically is kind of a fancy way of saying that you don't know exactly how much of each ingredient is in the supplement or in the product. I mean, they could have a whole bunch of spirulina and then just little trace amounts of all of the other ingredients. We don't know. And so you can have comfort knowing exactly what it is that you're putting into your body with this recipe. The next category is the taste. Now, I obviously can't comment on the taste of athletic greens since I haven't had it before. But I can honestly say that the first time I had this recipe, I thought it tasted pretty good. Now, did it taste like a Jolly Rancher or some Skittles? No, that's not the point of a greens powder. No one should expect any greens powder to taste like their favorite candy. That's not the point. But it's definitely something that I could see myself drinking every day and enjoying. Now, full disclaimer is that I have developed an acquired taste to spirulina, which is one of the main ingredients in this recipe. It's also one of the main ingredients in athletic greens. And for those of you all who have had spirulina before, you know that it tastes kind of oceany, for lack of better words. And so it definitely takes some getting used to. And so just know that with taking the greens powder every day, you can grow more accustomed to the taste. There are people who say the same thing about AG1. When they first tried it, they couldn't stand it, but over time they got used to it. And then the next category is, of course, the cost. Now, as I mentioned before, the current cost of AG1 for a 30-day serving is $99 if you just buy it alone, or if you choose to opt into the monthly subscription, then it costs $88. Now, the specific products that we've used in this recipe are enough to give you 5 months worth of daily servings of the greens powder. So for example, the 16-ounce jar of the spirulina has 151 servings, which if you divide that by 30, which is the average number of days in a month, you get 5 months. Now, at the time of shooting this video, the current prices for these products on Amazon are $41.15 for the 16-ounce jar of spirulina, $17.99 for a 16-ounce bag of Moringa, $14.99 for a 12-ounce bag of Baobab powder, and $8.99 for an 8-ounce bag of ginger. I didn't include things like the lemon juice and the sweetener in this total because those are things that you probably already have in your house. Now, if you add up all of these prices, that comes out to a total of $83.15, which dividing that by 5 is going to give you a grand total of $16.63 per month. So that is on average what you would pay per month in order to make this recipe. That is over 80% less than what you would pay for the monthly subscription of Athletic Greens.
What?
And then if you decide to make the premium version by adding the Magnesium supplement by Thorne Research, that brings your monthly total up to $40.63 per month, which is still less than half of the amount that you would pay for the monthly subscription of AG1. I'm just saying, y'all. Definitely another point for the home team in that category. And then the final factor is convenience. Now, while this recipe doesn't come completely combined in a single canister that you can just take a scoop out of each day, you can still prep your daily servings in advance by using some small packets like you see me doing here. You could even take these on the road with you if you were traveling and you'd be set. Now, if you're someone out there who currently takes Athletic Greens and you're satisfied with it, you feel like it works for you, more power to you. This is simply another option, especially for those of you all out there who are kind of on the fence about Athletic Greens, or maybe for those of you all who are taking AG1 but are trying to find some ways to cut back on your monthly expenses while still getting some of the key nutrients that you need. And with that, this video is brought to you by Daily Choice Greens. All of the nutrition you could possibly need in one drink. I'm just playing, y'all. That's not for real. Now, again, we'll leave the links to all of the ingredients that we use in this powder in the description below so that you can start making it yourself. And if you do end up making it, let us know what you think of it in the comments below. And in the meantime, if you want to check out any of our other recipes with spirulina specifically, such as our spirulina smoothie bowl or our spirulina and maca protein bars, then click on one of these videos that you see over here to the right, and we'll see you over there. Peace.